Hi, yes, 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 yes. I'm so excited. I am so excited that you would even come into my presence. It's have been a long summer. So I don't know when you're gonna get this because this is recorded. Um, you might not get this to December, but it was a long summer. I actually had some self care. Yes, I went on a cruise, a beautiful cruise, and it was beautiful. I have no words to say. Everybody have to have that self care. Then it was my birthday, all in the month of August. But what are we here today about? My name is Phyllis White Whitley, and I am your host today. We're going to be talking about my book, Spiritology. But we really don't go straight into my book. Those of you who know me, Spiritology came to life, and then we went on and made Spiritology Live, which is my podcast, helping you get to your promised land. Now we are on YouTube doing what we call Spiritology Unapologetic, because I'm not going to apologize for what I said over at my podcast or here on church, because we are stripping the religious shackles that keep us from not only having a relationship with God, but having a relationship within ourselves. Unmuted. I'm not going to hold nothing back. I will give you some good revelation. You know what they say. You know what your father say. You know what the book says. The truth should set you free. That's what everything that I do is about. And you see, even my books that's behind me, they so far behind me. I'll see what I'm going to do later. I always change it up and then it don't show. But today I am so excited because we are going to be in episode 61. And I have my guest here. And my guest is one of my Whisper Vibes prayer warriors, team member. And we are going to have a conversation today about episode 61, hacking into spiritual constipation. You're going to learn how to release your finances properly. Yes, we talked about self-image. We talked about relationship. If you missed that, jump aboard and go get those episodes. And they right behind this one. Well, spiritual constipation. Why, Miss P? Well, because you know what physical constipation is. It hurts. And if the more you stay spiritually constipated, it could turn into a diseasement that might turn into an illness, that might turn into a disease. It's no joke. I work on the spiritual side because I am a holistic practitioner. And I deal with your body, mind, and soul, the whole thing, the root of what's going on in your relationships, career, education, anything, life issues. So now that we are on that subject, that's why I named this spiritual constipation. And see, release, you had to let go. See, physically, you need to let go. You go buy some kind of over-the-counter drug or medication if it get worse. We was talking last week, and one of my Whisper Vibes team talked about getting wise counsel. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Because when you have wise counsel, you will know you need someone to help you release your finances. We're going to talk about the finances stuff because even if you think you got your self-image together, if your finances is not the part, guess what? Your self-image is going to be like, you're going to be like worried night and day about your bills. If your finances is not together, guess what? You're going to be worried. You're not going to want to give your man or your woman any sugar because when they come home, you can't afford to buy any sugar. Amen. You know what I'm talking about? So we're going to dive deep into the finances. We're going to give you a little sneak preview before I start my conversation with Jay. That's what my book is about. You got these shackles and you think everything is like, I can just say God, even actresses and the best entertainers out there, stars. I know who God is. No, you don't. They use it as a clutch, as a fad. Know who he is, and then you will understand the words that I'm speaking when I say, open up your Bible. People will get in arguments about money. People kill over money. What do you think bank robbers are doing? You think they just going in there because they want to prove that they can rob something? Well, I'm just not into it. You talking about money. I mean, I want to just keep on moving on. You can keep on moving on and stay in debt the rest of your life. But I'm here for the people that's ready to not only know who they are, but live in their promised land. Somebody once told me, y'all know this one. If you are a religious Christian, you know money is the root of all evil. Yeah, it's the cause of it. It's the beginning of it. Only because you walked away from God and then you worshiped it. Money is the root of all evil because you made it your God. Well, Miss P, how do you serve money? You don't. Money serve you. You have to master it. This is why you should never be an idol. Ouch. Let me have a conversation with Jay, please. Jay. I'm still trying to master my money. I am still trying to master. If you don't master your money, your money will master you. You'll be crying. You'll be hurt. You'll be stealing Paul to pay Peter. I know it. I know the feeling. That's why I constantly try to strive by cleaning out the little clutter, the financial woo-woos, because I am not happy. I'm going to be honest with you. If my health is not right, and then my money. What do you have to say about serving money or money serving you?
Yes. My intake on that is you can't make money your God. You got to know who releases it, and it's God. He's over all things. And when you start worshiping money, making it your God, you told me something a long time ago. I never forgot it. I used to call myself a hustler. You was like, don't say that. But truly, people that have that mindset, they chase money all the time, but they'll get it, but they can't really seem to keep a grip on it. You got to know who God is. You got to know who your source is. And also, I think it has something to do with having clutter. If you're spiritually cluttered, money really can't come to you. So I believe in basically debunking and cleaning spiritually so that it manifests in the spiritual, so you make room for more money. Stay busy. You said something about not being idle. Remember, you do have to keep yourself busy. The more busy you are, you start attracting more, so that's my take on it.
Excellent. I love her take. She actually covered a lot of stuff. One of the things is she's saying your source. You should not be at the altar every week about your finances when you know that you didn't need 3 cars and you only could afford one. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't go and then go to your pastor, lie out on the altar. And maybe you're not at the altar. You're going and telling everybody, go fund me. You're telling people this on social media. Help me. I can't afford this. I can't afford my bills. I can't afford my medical bills. I can't afford this bill. I'm not making fun of you, but you cannot do that as an entrepreneur, a leader. Mm-mm. Even if you are a Christian, because now you put a tag on your back and they're going to say, well, God dang, people want you to be transparent. People want to know that you came through things. Or even, like I said, I am still trying to master money. I was being transparent and I was being honest. People want to know that. Your clients want to know that. Your team want to know that. They don't want you to get up there and say I'm perfect. It would help that you went through some of the stuff. But at least you can say to them, I know what doors you. They will value you. They will respect you. Because Jaquetta said, source. Why are you flipping? I've seen pastors flip. Don't get me wrong. This is not a show that I will expose stuff, but you look at my spiritology book. But I'm not going to talk about it because they have shows that do that. But listen to me. I've seen pastors get so mad. I was in a church. I hate to say this. And they wanted everybody to bring their first everything, their first fruit and everything in doing the January month or the beginning of the year. And they didn't spend too much time explaining it, which I feel, looking back, they should have. So what they did is they said, everybody bring they kept reminding. And I talking to some of the people in there because I was working behind the scenes. Someone said, I can't be giving it because I will be bankrupt. Mm-hmm. And not so much bankrupt. My rent. I can't do it this month. And a lot of people didn't want to do it. And I remember everybody gave, and a lot of people didn't stand up to give. That pastor went livid. And I was young in Christ. And I was sitting up there and I was saying, why is he getting upset? And he was so upset. It was like he was demanding it. Instead of going to the scriptures to show them the proof, to show them that God said, prove me wrong. Test me that won't I open up the windows of heaven. And rebuke the Baal. Rebuke all of those things that's coming to you in lack. And he didn't explain that. He didn't sit back and have a sermon about with testimonies of people that did give. So everybody looking at him like, oh, I got to pay my rent. Because if they don't pay their rent right there and there, they doubting, what's going to happen. The pastor's not going to come and pay it. So I feel it's a way as a spiritual leader, you have to teach people. It should be testimonies behind it. You should say, hey, you should be the speaker that says, listen, I was filing bankruptcy and then God did this and he did a turnaround. But going straight to back to the point, I was confused. I said, well, don't he have a source? When I know I need money at a certain time, when I have some unexpected bills, I go straight to the source. I don't go and tell everybody, you better give me this, you better give me that, you better give me that. Although I have a team around me that they have seen their life go from 1 to 10. And I can turn around and say, I have a need of this. And they will say, get out the way. Let me bless you, Miss P. Because of the testimony that they have dealing with my coaching, mentorship. I couldn't understand that pastor. And I know, this was years ago. Why are you mad at the congregation? Have a service where you teach them the truth about tithing, offering. Tell them, hey, Rockefeller, do you know Rockefeller tithe? And that's a legacy right there. People want to know, and they might not know. But your source, that's what she's saying. She said she had a hustle. And you can have a hustle on the side, but you don't want something that you hustling to get in and hustling to get out. It depends what type of hustle you have, because I do believe entrepreneurship is a hustle that you turned into. You can take that hustle and bring it into an entrepreneurship. Yes, you can. I love everything she said, and guess what? You don't know that money is serving you are serving money unless you have wise counsel, unless you have counseling, unless you have coaching, unless you have a mentor, unless your pastor's telling you that. And I have known that there's churches out there. I went listen. I've been everywhere, and I had a pastor who he was so well wounded in all his affairs, body, mind, and soul, that when he got on a subject, two subjects that people would not go to church for: health and finance. And my next book is going to be about health. And you think that my books be blowing you out the water? Because I'm going to tell you stuff that they will not tell you. Nobody want to hear about their health. Nobody want to hear that when they get up off the floor praising God, that their legs, or should I say, the arthritis would leave their arm, their legs, and whatever. I'm not making fun of you, but they don't want to go back and sit down and realize what was you eating that whole week that caused arthritis to come in. The devil is a liar. No, the devil ain't got nothing to do with it. This is you. That's why we call it spiritual constipation. Your finances, just like she said, clean out the clutter. I teach them, I taught them, clean out the clutter. It's just like saying, she said, you have to make room. You can't put new wine into an old wine bottle. You can't do it. It will spill over. A lot of y'all go into relationships. I specialize in relationships. You go into a relationship and you know what you do? You bring all your baggage, and then you look at the man and say, fix me, love me. Huh? Really? I know this is deep. I'm trying to give you some appetizers, but I went to the entree, the appetizer, I went everywhere. But let me conclude. Jaquetta, let's have a conversation. Let's have a conclusion conversation about how do you teach your children not to be servants of money?
Honestly, I'm still trying to master that. I really am. But one thing that I have learned, that is tithing is the key. And my daughter, she does it religiously. She'll send it, hey, she'll send it. Even if she gotta, hey mama, do I need to tithe this? So I think tithing really is the key. That has been a real blessing in my life, because I didn't used to tithe at all. I didn't know the meaning behind it. But when you give back, you actually get it tenfold. It comes in different areas. So I think just speaking to your children about tithing and knowing what it is to tithe is a really big thing.
Excellent. And she said one of the most important thing is tithes, because I remember telling my daughter about tithes, and people say, well, Miss P, how you gonna tell a young child? Your kids should be, their first employer should be you. Give little Derek money for taking out the garbage. Okay. Give Irene some money for cleaning up her room. And they should have allowance. When they old enough to have allowance, you can turn around and say, hey, I remember going to my daughter and say, well, what did you get? Let me get this. Let me get some of this. And I told her, I explained it was tithes. Now, some of y'all said, oh, that's crazy. But no, it's not, because you also say, I can't afford to give my child an allowance. But you have family members who always come over and give them money. Take the dollar out. Show them how to sell icicle pops. Kool-Aid. I know we used to do the Kool-Aid and put the pop in there and sell them. Icicles. It's so much that they can sell, not knocking on everybody's door, but have it right there in front of your garage. in front of your building. It's so much that you can teach them how to be an entrepreneur at a young age. And the more you have, some people who have like 6 kids, that's right there. That's your organization. That's your own business. It starts there. You are the first teacher. You are their first preacher. You are their first entrepreneur leader. So you can do a lot with your kids, as she said. And one of the things I did, I remember saying to my daughter, we're going to pay tithes out of this money, because she literally had, I'm trying to remember, was she doing some type of, something she was doing, and she got some money. And we paid tithes off of that. I kid you not. That's when you leave it alone. You open up your hand. You can't get anything if your hand is like this. Yeah. You can't get it like that. You need to literally do like this. And then God can put money back in there. And you know what happened? Somebody that she haven't heard from in years came and sent her a couple $100. You can't explain what God can do. I'm telling you, you know not of his ways. His ways, you can't figure them out. And I was like, what? And she's been tied in. And then when she went and started getting the jobs for the summer, she would tithe and tithe and tithe and tithe. Are we the Rockefellers now? No, but we have some goals. Our money just didn't catch up to us right now. But I'm going to tell you something. I have never seen the righteous thinkers in lack. If there's something that I need, I kid you not. By the time I wake up that next day, something happened, unexpected. And I don't want you to walk around here and say, I'm looking for that unexpected check. You don't know what way it's going to come. It can come with a extra job. It can come with you waking up and saying, you know, I really do know how to sew. Let me start selling my material. Ideas will come to you. Don't look at it as just cash or money. Look at it as ideas. Finances can come to you as multi-million-dollar ideas. Look at Apple. Look at Amazon. Those was ideas. People who got their own apps that made it, that's making it. Look at YouTube. Somebody had an idea. Let me get on YouTube and let me show everybody how to make vegan food. Yes. And then, you know, because so many people say, oh, wait a minute, I want to know how to do that. Somebody got an idea and said, let me show you how to paint. Finances can come in ideas. Now that you know that, trust me. Won't you trust me? Won't you relax and say, I need wise counsel? Go find it. And if you can't find it, you know where I'm at. I give 15-minute free prophetic discovery to figure out in that time what way you need to go. We don't want you to be spiritually constipated any longer. We want you to release your finances, and we want you to have you. Like she said, money will come. When I was talking about that pastor, he was going loop. I was like, wow, don't he know his source? Because God will bless him. If he had to meet most likely his building, you know, the pastor's got the building that need to be paid. You don't think that God could have had 1 millionaire walk in that door? And then because online is so great now, and I know it was out back then. Some of y'all think I'm a dinosaur. No, it was still online giving. And I have heard pastors come in and said, one of the pastors said, oh my God, I woke up and the money that I got from somebody in a place that I don't even know, Australia. You don't know who God gonna touch. That pastor didn't know who God was gonna touch. He put everything on that. Like you put everything on your job. When I lose people, when you have a small business and you lose people, when you lose, even if you have you coaching and it's time for them to go on to the next season, when you have clients that don't show up but every 6 months or so, I don't crack up because I know who my source is. If one person leaves, God will always look up into somebody else. She said, clean out the clutter. When you clean out the clutter, you make room. She said for money. Oh, yes, I do have some stuff about that, but I'm not even going to tell you about that. You need to go to my podcast because I think we learned something here. We learned a lot here. And in closing, we said a lot. Remember, episode 61, release your finances properly and learn how to have money serve you and you don't serve money. And remember, if loving yourself is right, you don't want to be wrong.